We are hardwired to flinch at the sight of a coiled body and a flicking tongue. The cobra is an apex predator, and human evolution has taught us to keep our distance. Yet, once a year, millions of people deliberately close that distance. Instead of fleeing, they approach these venomous snakes with calmly folded hands and offerings of milk. This annual reversal of our deepest instincts happens during Nag Panchami, a festival observed in the lunar month of Shravan. To make sense of how a deadly reptile becomes an honored guest, we have to look closely at an ancient folktale, a katha that entirely rewrites the snake's role from a natural threat to a fiercely protective family member. When you break down the traditions of this day, you find a sophisticated psychological framework. It forces devotees to face an elemental terror and neutralize it through deep spiritual reverence. The lore begins in a traditional pastoral village. A wealthy merchant lived with his 7 sons and their wives. Among them, the youngest daughter-in-law stood out for her deep empathy. While gathering soil one day, the eldest sister-in-law spots a snake and raises her spade to strike. The youngest lunges forward to stop her. She shields the creature, pleading for its life, and in that tense moment deliberately claims the wild serpent as her brother. She calms the snake and makes a very specific promise. She tells her new brother to wait right there while she goes home to fetch him a bowl of fresh milk. That single promise made in the dirt is the exact origin point for the Puja Vidhi, the strict ritual procedures millions follow today. Modern devotees recreate this moment by placing serpent idols onto wooden platforms, carefully pouring raw milk mixed with ghee and sugar over the deity. Ancient texts dictate that performing this specific act of care grants the devotee Akshay Punya, an endless, unexpiring accumulation of spiritual merit. The story of the youngest daughter-in-law is a literal step-by-step instruction manual for securing spiritual immunity. Returning to the lore, the young woman actually forgets her promise, leaving the snake waiting. When she finally remembers and returns the next day, the serpent is furious. He spares her life for one reason only. She called him brother. To honor that familial bond, he escorts her down into his own realm, Nag Loka. Deep in the serpent kingdom, her empathy is tested again. Tasked with feeding the baby snakes, she rings the dinner bell too early, and the hungry hatchlings scorch their mouths on hot milk. Because her intentions were pure, the serpent mother forgives her mistake, sending her back to the human world showered with immense wealth and a radiant diamond necklace. Word of this treasure reaches the local palace, and a jealous human queen decides she must have it, forcefully confiscating the jewelry for herself. But Nag Loka's gifts carry strict conditions. The moment the greedy queen fastens the clasp around her neck, the brilliant diamonds instantly writhe and transform into a massive, coiled serpent. The terrified human king hurls the snake away and immediately summons the young daughter-in-law to the court to answer for the dark magic. Through this sharp contrast, the festival establishes its moral boundaries. The serpent's grace operates on a strict code. It actively punishes selfish accumulation while showering blessings on pure familial devotion. Back in the royal court, the girl calls out for her brother. Right on cue, Sheshnag, the king of serpents, manifests to defend her. The human king bows his head in immediate reverence, and the annual celebration of Nag Panchami is officially declared. Today, standing shoulder to shoulder to pour these offerings over the lingam serves a very tangible purpose. Observing this ritual removes the terror of snake bites and secures a guarantee of continuous prosperity for the home. This timeline details when these rituals occur, governed by precise astrological math. The Panchami Tithi begins late August 16th, but Hindu scheduling relies on the Udaya Tithi, prioritizing the moon at sunrise. Because of this rule, Nag Panchami is celebrated on Monday, August 17th, 2026. The physical preparation begins a day early. Devotees restrict themselves to a single meal on Chaturthi, the 4th day, which transitions into a strict, full-day fast for the entirety of Panchami. Within that fasting period, there is a hyper-specific 2-hour and 37-minute window to offer the milk and recite the katha. In 2026, that optimal muhurat runs strictly from 5:51 to 8:29 in the morning. Nag Panchami sits at the intersection of strict mathematics and compelling folklore. It uses a deeply moving story, to take one of nature's most lethal predators and permanently weave it into the protective fabric of the human family.